We're here on Roy Creek, about 2 miles south of Big Green Lake along County Road O. A couple years ago, the DNR did some water quality testing around the lake and found Roy Creek to be one of the worst creeks in the area. Roy Creek is one of the longest tributaries, a little over 7 miles long, and it runs through some pretty steep terrain. It's got a lot of gradient to it, which means it drops a lot from beginning to end. That can carry a lot more sediment. Also, it goes through a really heavy ag use area, a lot of big farm fields. And the side hills here, the farm fields can be up to 50 to 75 feet higher than the actual creek. So we have a lot of those unstable banks that are coming down with a lot of pollution into the stream. And in this stream, we're actually seeing a lot of the sediment coming from the stream banks itself, in addition to agriculture. This particular site we started last November in 2012. And what was here originally was heavy buckthorn and other invasives, and the banks along the entire creek were about 5 to 8 foot tall straight up and down and just tipping into the stream. One issue we see on the stream with the vertical banks that are eroding is during dry times a lot of the sediment will be tipping into the stream and just lay on the bottom and just kind of reside in a pool of mud. And when the big flows from the big rains come through, it flushes all that out at one time and causes one big plume of sediment to go out into Big Green Lake. Sediment carries with it a lot of other pollutants, nitrates and phosphorus, which causes algae growth, in addition to just covering up spawning areas for fish. So we came in here with heavy equipment and dump trucks. We hauled out several hundred truckloads of topsoil. It was all topsoil in here, 8 feet deep, due to erosion over the past 100 years. When they did the survey, they didn't find any fish species in here, but we're trying to change that. When we came in here and did the restoration, there were several fallen trees in the water that had to be removed during construction as part of the bank grading. And to keep the different habitat features for fish and other species here, we put some of these logs back in place and secured them down so they wouldn't come out. And that just provides nooks and crannies for different species. This particular project here, counting both sides of the bank, was about 1,500 feet of stream bank restoration. And a project of that scope is about $40,000. And later this year, actually, just across the stream, or across County O here, we'll be doing approximately another 3,000 feet. On the inside points, we made level benches, so when the water comes up in the spring floods, it flows over the width of that, more of a floodplain, and it actually lays down the sediment from the stream within the floodplain area and doesn't carry it further downstream to the lake. The money for this project came from a special grant from the Natural Resource Conservation Service. They had a special watershed project where 3 watersheds in the state of Wisconsin were selected, and Big Green Lake was one of those that was picked. And through that program, we got over $500,000 to do restoration work throughout the watershed.